Card Room Live, number 11. Back to back. Haven't done that in a while. You might want to fast forward if you're watching this as a recording. Usually it takes a few minutes for folks to get in here. And in the meantime, there'll just be some painful silence as I wait. It's 8:15 on a Wednesday night. Who out there is on YouTube and looking to talk about baseball cards? That's the question. One person. We had a good group in here last night. We'll see how we do tonight. It's always awkward to be the first person. If you're that first person, I know how you feel. First. Yes, Rick. I appreciate your boldness. How are you, Rick? Second. Hey, that's a 1-2 punch right there. Vintage oddball cards and near mint musings. What are we doing at 8:18 p.m. on a Wednesday night, guys? Isn't there something better we could be doing? I guess not. What could be better than shooting the shit over baseball cards? Very excited about this Phillies Cubs series. It makes the Phillies look better than they really are. It's a nice little fantasy I get to have for a few games. That sounds nice. What kind of vintage are you looking at right now? You're a lucky man, Rick. Yeah, I guess so. And the Phillies are right now the beneficiaries of it. I saw some clip where Bill Murray suggested that kids should donate candy money, or I forget what he said, something about trying to hang on to their star players. Hey, man. Good to see you, Nate. Yeah, what vintage are you looking at these days? I was kind of cleaning up my saved searches today on eBay. Cool, that's always fun. There's some beautiful cards in that set. Let's go ahead and do that. Why don't we? Let's see here. So I literally just typed in 41 play ball, and just for the heck of it, not like I'm actually interested in this particular auction, but just to look at the cards. I mean, Dolph Camilli. There's a great looking card. Happy Milner. Soupy Campbell. That's great. Soupy Campbell. I mean, even the names are fantastic. There's a character in 41 Play Ball. Oh man, what's his name? I think his nickname is Hot Potato. I can't remember what his actual name is, but his nickname on the card is Hot Potato. There's a lot of great nicknames in this set. I mean, look at this card, just randomly. I just like these backgrounds. Really cool. Archivon. Don't hate me for clicking on a PWCC. I'm not really paying attention to the seller. I'm just clicking on these cards. There's a nice looking one. Just really fun designs. There's one of my favorite ones. I think we've talked about this card on one of our previous chats. I mean, this particular example's in rough shape, but just the bleachers in the background. It's a great design. Whoa, this one is a very busy card. Stormy Weatherly. Love the shadows. These are really nice in this set. Anytime they have like these sort of more like spring training kind of backdrops, where they just have a fence and some trees. Pinky Higgins. There's some great looking cards in here. This is a big one in this set. This is one that I have on my radar. I don't have any 41 Play Ball, but this is one I'd like to get. Registration for this one is a little off. Actually, it's pretty bad. It's pretty off, but yeah, the Bobby Doerr for sure. I believe a few YouTubers have that card. I think the first time I really paid attention to it was when Don showed it. Don Field of Dreams cards. It's a great design. Nice looking card. Hey, here's an autographed copy. That's pretty sweet. Jimmy Fox. That's a cool one. The color palette is really kind of subtle, which is nice too. Here's a better copy of that Gehringer card. Yeah, it looks nice. That's a set I've got a few cards from this set bookmarked as ones I'd like to come back to at some point, and not necessarily collect the set, although I could definitely see how putting that set together would be a fun challenge. I don't know that I'd want to do that, but just, kind of cherry picking a few cards here and there and going after them. It's a nice looking set. What else are people looking at these days? Any cards that are speaking to you, whether it's a set or player, particular era that you're looking at? Yikes. Zach Wheeler has already given up 3 runs in the first. I knew as soon as I started talking about the Phillies beating up on the Cubs, I was going to pay for it. Yeah, Diamond Stars are definitely up there too. I have a bunch of cards from that set that I've also bookmarked. And every time I look through it, I find another one. And there's just so much stuff going on. Just right off the bat, look at this one. What in the heck is going on in this baseball card? What is this back here? What is all this piled up here? Are those tarps covering up that were meant to cover up the field? What's going on here? I don't know. Then you got a couple guys hanging out back here, dugout. Maybe those are cubes to put your equipment in. I don't know. I'm looking at everything except the actual player, Bill Delancey. It's a busy card. I like the treatment for the Cardinals logo on his jersey. It's it's close enough. The artist didn't spend a whole lot of time on that part. Oh, really? Let's go see that. Is it this one or because I think I don't know if it's true in Diamond Stars if there are like multiple versions of the same player. Is it this card? Yeah, I would agree with you. That I don't know that I buy it, but it's a fun story. It's definitely a fun story. Let's see here. I mean, come on. That's a fantastic card. I'm a sucker for cards where guys are doing ridiculous leaps to snag a ball, make a play. What's up, Jesse? We're just looking at old pieces of cardboard. Back at it again. That is an awesome card. And like this kind of 1930s, 1940s silhouette of the city in the background. It's great. Yes. Yes, indeed, Don. Back at it. Wasn't enough to have one session, had to just keep going. Lloyd Wayner. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I don't know if it was you or Brent or somebody else that mentioned that card before. No, not Wander, Wayner. Yes, yeah, I've got this card on my want list. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a great card. Hey, what's up, Scott? Just looking at old cardboard. If anybody has any suggestions on stuff to look up, so far we've been looking at play ball, we've been looking at Diamond Stars. Brent has been feeding us good ideas, but if anybody has cards that they want to talk about, 33 Galaxy Wayner, same guy, different card. The blue or the red, Don, or does it matter to you? I'm immediately drawn to the blue one for whatever reason. I don't know that I've seen this card. This one's got some registration issues. Let's see if we can find a nicer copy. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't realize that. Well, I think Lloyd wins. I like the blue. Yeah, that's a cool one. Oh, I see now. Yeah, Paul. Very similar poses, too. Yeah, I'm supposed to. Is that the set that I'm supposed to collect? I can't remember. Bob Lewis once suggested I think it was that set that I should move on to that set. I'm still considering it. Jesse, what are you looking at these days? Jesse had an awesome video. Was that last night that she posted that? With some cool pickups that also had some great like 80s nostalgia in there too. Not often that you see baseball cards, Randy Johnson, He-Man, and Nintendo all worked into one video. Hey, Alan. Good question. What's the card you could probably never afford but would love to have? That's a great question. Welcome to you too. And I would encourage everybody else to share your answer in the comments. Have a think. What's your favorite card that you'll probably never get but would love to have? Boy, the mind can wander, right? There's a bunch of cards. I mean, the 52 Mantle. We'll start there. We'll start with his rookie card too. The Leaf Jackie Robinson. I don't see that ever happening. It's funny because if I took some time and thought about it, I probably could list them off for you, but it's so painful to think about them that I've kind of blocked them from my memory. Because it's painful to look at those cards and be like, yep, that's never going to happen. Yeah, but I'd say those, like the Leaf Robinson, the 51, 52 Mantle. What else? Yeah, that's a good one. Oh gosh, I mean that one's still on my list. I don't know why, because I don't think it's ever going to happen. But it still sits on my list as like, yeah, that would be nice. I mean, this is just a reprint, but even just looking at the reprint, that's like hands down one of the nicest, most beautiful cards ever made. And the guy was a bastard. If you know anything about the history of him as a player, but he's got a beautiful baseball card. Can't argue with that. There you go. That's a good one too. 48 Leaf page. Leroy. That's such a fun card. Wow, you guys are coming up with cool ones. Let's see, 1907. Let's look this up and feel your pain. I don't know if it's going to be on here. Might have to go to Google to find this. Yeah, I was going to say, Brent, that's a little too much of a deep dive for eBay. More of an auction look, I'm guessing. Yeah, Lajoie, Napoleon Lajoie rookie card. That's a good one. Oh, really? Was it his birthday? Is it his birthday today, or was it like recently? I didn't see that anywhere. Yeah, I hear that. I was looking at Cracker Jacks today. Um, I still don't have any of those. Got so much to. Getting back to this uh, comment from Scott, the DeLong set is a really fun set. I think. I mean, I don't have any of them. You guys are bringing up cards that I don't have any experience other than looking at them, but I think it's a really fun set. And yeah, like the most talked about card in that set is the Lou Gehrig, but there are other key cards. Like here's a nice one: Chuck Klein, Charlie Gehringer. I'm just gonna pull some of these up. Lefty Gomez. Mickey Cochran. I mean, there's some big names from the era, and it's just a fun design. It's like you don't that is a unique design. You know, you just don't come across anything like that in the rest of the hobby that I can think of. And it gets a little repetitive. It gets a little repetitive in terms of the design, but I don't know if you're just cherry picking cards. I think it's a pretty fun set to dig through and find key players that you want to focus on. Dude, that's a fun card. I don't know that I really paid attention to that card too much before. There's something about catcher cards, right? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Cracker Jack, Shoeless Joe, Cracker Jack, Ty Cobb. Yeah, that's never happening for me. But a fun card to look at. Yeah, no, totally. And the fact that they're giant, right? I love that the players are just like these, you know, these big sort of King Kong figures in the stadium. There's something very, very much of the era about that. Yeah, I know somebody who has that card. That's definitely a card that I'll. In fact, I think I took that off my save search today. It's like I don't even know why that's a save search on eBay. First of all, it's never going to come up, and if it does, it'll be like once in every 5 years or something. And two, even if it does, I'm not getting that card. So I was like, why torture myself with that saved search? But that is an absolutely beautiful card. If y'all are not familiar with the Ramsley or the Ramley set, let's look that up because that's an absolutely beautiful set. We'll see who we can find to look at. Well, here you go. Here he is. I mean, come on. There are no cards that look like that anywhere else. Yeah, I could just look at that card for a while. I think the Johnson is the Walter Johnson is the card in that set, but there are other players in that set. Mordecai Brown. Oh, here you go, Harry McIntyre, Johnny Evers. There's a Fred Merkle. I want to get a Fred Merkle. You gotta have a Merkle's boner card. So there are other recognizable names from that era in the set, but the Walter Johnson takes the cake. Yeah, I agree, and I think especially like in this era, the portraits and the photography, like really cool. Yeah, if you want to see the Walter Johnson on YouTube, go to Nuff Said Cards channel. Go back into last year at some point, I think is when he got it. Fun suggestions, guys. Y'all brought up some cards that, I mean, I'm leaving all these open because I want to come back to them later and look at them again. Oh, so it was Satchel Paige's birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Satchel Paige. What's everybody's favorite? Let's talk about Satchel. What's everybody's favorite Satchel Paige card? Whether you have it or not, just card that you enjoy. $53 pops. That's a good place to start. I've got that bookmarked. Right, 48 leaf. And the 49 Bowman, that one as well. I think that one might be my favorite. I like this set a lot. Yeah, man, don't we all? Don't we all? I think at one time, let's see if I can find it. Somebody did a mock-up, or maybe I found a picture that I thought felt like a good mock-up of what a 53 Paige would have looked like. But I don't know if I still have it. Yeah, I don't know. See if I can find the photograph though. Yeah. Oops. This photograph. I feel like that photograph is like as close as we'll get to what a 53 Bowman card might have felt like had he actually had one. Such a great shot of him. Have they not done Satchel Paige yet? That's surprising. I'll drop the StreamYard in here if anybody wants to come chat for a bit. Coleman, thanks for stopping in. Oh yeah, well of course, right? That's a good point. Going back to your question from before, yeah, definitely. Any Honus Wagner card at this point. What else you guys looking at these days? Anything else that it wants to look up or talk about? It's fun just coasting around eBay and looking for random stuff. Sure. Yeah, that's a cool one. Jerome Dizzy Dean was named Dizzy several years ago because he made the White Sox that way, trying to bat against him. That's great. And then you said Lefty Gomez, I think. Let's look at this, kind of a little bit beat up here, but still cool. Yeah, Don, we were talking about that card probably just before you showed up. We went through a bunch of 41 play balls, and that's a card that's on my list now. I think lefties. It is Vernon. Unless you're talking about a different year, like 34 Gowdy or. Red roughing. Oh, a different card altogether? Okay. Oops, I don't know why I typed that in. Did you mean Lefty Grove? '33 Sport Kings, yeah. That's a set I have not looked at a whole lot. Right. Jim Thorpe, Carl Hubble. There's a Cobb in here, Babe Ruth, right. '33 Gowdy, yeah. I got to be honest. The '33 Gowdy Mel Ott. Personally not the biggest fan. There's something about cards. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say there's something about cards where like the guy's not wearing a cap that always feel off to me, but that's not always the case. Like we were just looking at that like Walter Johnson, like didn't even occur to me that he wasn't wearing his cap, but I don't know. I like the I think is it 41? What year is it? Oh, shoot. It's not 41. Is it 40? No. I can't remember which Mel Ott card it is that. I mean, this one's kind of cool. The Diamond Stars. That's what it is. 39 play ball. I really like this one. There's something about like the photography and the depth of field is so shallow. Like his eyes and his nose are in focus, and a little bit of his jersey, and the rest of him is like out of focus. It's really a great shot. And it's like, yeah, it's not that exciting a card. It's just a portrait. It's black and white, but I don't know. It's really nicely done. And this is pretty cool. I did not know that Satchel Paige had been an Atlanta Brave. Was in 1968. I wonder how long did that last? '38 Gowdy. Oh yeah. I feel like this is the set where you're either firmly on one side of the fence or on the other. I don't mind looking at them, but I'm not really drawn to collect them. But that's just me. How do y'all feel about this set? Yeah, I hear you, Don. But I will say I like that. I like that musical card um, in black and white. There's some cards where it's like I appreciate that it's black and white. We were talking about this card last night. The Casey Stengel card. Like, part of me wishes this card was in the color set, but I kind of like this card black and white. Jesse, I think you have this card. Yeah, I was talking about this card a few chats back. 38 Gaudy Lopez is such a fun card. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about his earlier Gaudy card. Too much going on at the same time. Yeah, this is pretty fun. I was thinking of let's see if I can find it. I think it's 33 Gaudy Lopez. Or is it 34? Oh shoot, I don't know. Do it this way. There it is. Those Diamond Stars, that's right. I could not remember. I can't flip this around, but that card is just so much fun. Let's see if I can just find it this way. There you go. It's like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and it's very much like a cartoon. Like these little cartoon lines. He's throwing off the mask and all this. I know I've shown this card before, um, but it's a fun one. Lou Burdett. I've not really looked at much of the black and whites. Let's see. 1953 Bowman. Burdett. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Trying to think if I can recall any other black and white cards that I'm looking at. Very few, very few. The Ted Williams, 39 play ball, Joe DiMaggio, Mel Ott, the usual rookie. Stangle card. Yeah, not a whole lot. You know, it's a beautiful set that's in black and white, and I don't know that there's a lot of them on eBay. It's Mayo's cut plug. Here you go. John Montgomery Ward. These are some beautiful looking cards. What's up, Ken? Welcome. We're just on eBay looking up random cards right now. We're looking at black and white cards just for fun. 1895 Mayo's cut plug, N300. John Ward, John Montgomery Ward. Let's look at a few others of these. Here's Hugh Duffy. That's a beautiful card. Let's see. What else is in here? Not a whole lot of this set on eBay right now. Buck Ewing from Cleveland. Oops. Oh yeah, Don, I'll be looking at that card all day, every day for the rest of my life until I have it. For me, that's like, this is not unusual. I think a lot of people feel this way. For me, this is like the top 5 most beautiful cards ever made. And I find Ty Cobb to be really an interesting character from the game. Complicated guy. Messed up history, but maybe misunderstood in a lot of ways, and all sorts of stories that have been attached to him, some of which are not true or that have been embellished and fabricated and all sorts of other stuff. A great book to read is Ty Cobb, A Terrible Beauty. I'm sure many of you have read that book, or you've at least heard of it. Anyway, he's no saint, but heck of a player. And this card is just incredible. So yes, that's a card. That's a card that is definitely on my radar. To answer your question, Don, which is a cool question, what's the best DiMaggio card that's not a rookie? Rick is suggesting the 48 Leaf DiMaggio. Yeah, that's a fun one. I like what's the other DiMaggio? I'm not having good luck today with cards and remembering. I do like the 41 play ball. I think some people are maybe not as big a fan of it because it's a little it's kind of cartoony, and also you can have some bad luck with registration. But I think it's a nice card. I like the colors. Looks like a grape now and later. Yeah. Ken, no, unfortunately, I'm not able to make it this year. So you've brought up a sore subject. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, not able to make it. So sad to be missing out on it. I'm already thinking about next year, which is a ways away. But yeah, sad to be missing it, especially in Chicago, because I've only been to one, which was 2 years ago now, in Chicago, and had a great time there. Oh, cool, man. Well, have fun. You're gonna love it. You're gonna have a great time, no doubt about it. I was sad when it ended. Wanted it to keep going. It is a good time. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. There it is. Cool, man. Welcome. I have some of the 1930, 1940 play ball cards. I have the 39 odd. I like the 39 set the best out of all 3 years, but the other two are great in their own ways. Very cool. JGA59, are you making videos? Is your channel um, active in terms of content? Well, why not, man? You should definitely do it. It's fun, especially if you got play balls. I can tell you right now, especially folks in this room would love to see your collection. I don't think there's enough people showing play ball cards on YouTube these days. Cool. Yeah. Well, take your time and enjoy, but I would encourage you to join in. Um, it's a great way to connect with other people. Watching and commenting, that's cool, but like actually making content and sharing what you collect, it's a lot of fun. Oh, nice. Cool, Alan. Well, I look forward to that. Ken, I'm going to guess you're asking Rick because Rick would be a good person to ask that question. Yeah, right. I don't. I appreciate it, Don. I don't put the effort into my videos for views and and likes. If I would have stopped a long time ago because I don't really get that many views and likes. I don't. I do it because I enjoy putting the videos together and I enjoy sharing stuff. And I think everybody in here would probably say the same. Like you enjoy doing the videos because you enjoy getting to see other people appreciate what you're collecting. That's pretty much the thing that motivates all of us, I would say. And this is a great point from Paul. Like, if you don't feel like making videos, because videos, they can be time consuming and, you know, you don't necessarily have a ton of time to stop and set up a camera and talk and whatever. Maybe you just want to start an account on Instagram. A lot of people do that. A lot of YouTubers have Instagram accounts as well. And, you know, it doesn't take that much effort to take a shot and post it. And there's a lot of people on Instagram that are looking for baseball cards. And, you know, you can find other people to connect with there too. It's a lot faster than YouTube, that's for sure. Alan, like, are you kidding? Your videos, you'll laugh at how easy Instagram is compared to the videos that you're making with your daughter. And instead of voiceover, your daughter can write the caption that goes with the photo. There you go. So you can kind of keep the same dynamic going, but you'll find it's going to be a lot simpler to do it on Instagram. But don't stop making YouTube videos. YouTube videos are, to me, you know, I like being able to scroll through Instagram and look at photos and stuff, but like getting to hear the person talk about the cards and everything else, I think is way more fun. There's a lot of, I mean, in fact, there's probably more YouTubers that have Instagram accounts than I even realize. But like Brent, that was in here, Near Mint Musings, he's got an Instagram. Now, he doesn't necessarily always post baseball card stuff, but Bob Lewis, who else? B. Roth. There's a bunch of YouTubers that Mike Baseball Collector that have Instagram accounts that primarily focus on showing off cards. Scotty Tradition, I don't know if Scott's still in here. He shows off a lot of cards on his Instagram account. Canadian Cards, Triple Crown, 24, Card Soup. I'm just looking through my list right here. Geez, Mikey. A lot of the usual suspects. I don't use Instagram for baseball cards, but I definitely like look at baseball cards on Instagram. Hey man, that's probably for the best. There, you know what? There's enough. There are enough apps as it is. I'm done with apps at this point. I have to keep up for work a little bit, but I do it a little bit with a little bit of hesitation. That's a good question. I've heard of people using this. I haven't heard people talk about it much lately. But I don't know if anybody else in here is using that. There you go, from the man himself. Yeah, making videos and responding to comments and watching other people's videos like changes the hobby in a really good way. I'm like way more into this hobby as a result of YouTube than I would have been otherwise. So what else here? Let's see if I can. What else have I been looking at lately? There's probably not a lot of these on here, but let me look these up and see if I can find them. Yes, I don't know if anybody in here has seen these before. Perhaps some of you have. I think these are beautiful. 1908 Rose Company postcards. There aren't a lot of these that pop up on eBay, but you'll see them at auction. You'll see a lot more of them at auction, I should say, and there are a lot of recognizable names from the dead ball era that you'll see come up. But it's postcard size. I don't know what the back looks like. Yeah, there you go. So it's just a regular postcard back, but the front of it is just super cool. Just a really unique design. Am I looking at any? Are you asking me, Don? Cards from the '60s? Yeah. I had not pulled the trigger on any of them yet. I have a few cards from the '60s bookmarked, just to give you an idea. Two cards that I really would like to get that I've been thinking a lot about lately are the '61 Topps Mantle and Maris. I think that's for obvious reasons, but yeah, there's a handful of cards from the '60s that I have in mind. I'm just not. They're like further down the list right now. They're not cards that I'm like jonesing for at the moment. How long ago was that? PMN. There's no bad time. I guess maybe over the past year would be the exception, but there's no bad time to get a mantle. I think if you can afford it, if you can find a good deal. I'm glad I got. We've all been saying it over the past year. I'm glad I got mine when I did. Let's see. Let's find Ken a Cracker Jack card. I have a few Cracker Jack bookmarked. Let's see. We can just kind of look around. I mean, Ken, are you looking for a particular player? Do you want it to be a Hall of Famer, a recognizable name from the era, or are you just looking for like a cool example? I mean, the good news about looking at Cracker Jack is that it's hard to go wrong. There's a lot of fun cards in this set. I mean, you can go big, with Walter Johnson, for example. Or Joe Wood, Smokey Joe Wood. Eddie Cicotti has a fun card in this set. Black Sox. Yeah, the Branch Rickey, man. The Branch Rickey is so hard to come by. It's a cool card, but at least on eBay, maybe if I were looking at auctions more often, it'd be more in the rotation, but I don't really see it much. Yep, Napoleon Lajoie. That's a card that's on my list. Cool. Kind of medium shot of him in the middle of doing a toss. Yeah, we tend to talk about this set a lot on these sessions. 1955 Bowman rubs some people the wrong way. I think it's really easy to pick on it because it's kind of kitschy, but I think the design is cool, and I think you would, if you collected that set, if you built that set, seeing all those TVs next to each other would be kind of cool visually. And yeah, you're right. It reminds you of the fact that watching baseball on television was a really cool new experience. Baseball in the 20s and 30s and 40s, I guess, to some degree, was a radio thing, and then it became a television thing, and that set kind of memorializes that. Yeah, this is a good point for anybody that's looking at Cracker Jack. Is 1915. So Cracker Jack came out both in 1914 and in 1915, and as I understand it, 1914 Cracker Jack are more scarce because of the way they were distributed. So it's kind of a blanket statement, but generally speaking, the 1914 cards are going to be more expensive than 1915. I'm no expert, but having looked up these cards over time, and also having spent a lot of time on YouTube listening to other people talk about this set, I've picked that up. That's the other thing about YouTube that's so fun, is like you don't even necessarily realize it, but over months and months and months of watching YouTube, you start to like absorb all this obscure information about baseball cards. Like I barely knew that there was such a thing as a Cracker Jack baseball card a couple of years ago. Now I know, the difference between 1914 and 1915 cards. Yeah, exactly. The 1914 cards were in the packages, whereas in 1915 you had to send in proof of purchase or something, and they were mailed to you. So when you look at the 14 cards, and you can actually see it with this Lajoie, a lot of them have this sort of greasy yellow staining around it because it was in the pack with the Cracker Jack. There's an eternal question. I feel like there are a lot of Ruth cards, but not traditional base set cards, I guess. You know, like there's a lot of Ruth material out there, but not necessarily traditional cards, you know, postcards and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of that. So your point is spot on. It seems like there should be more, right? Yeah, I don't remember ever liking the gum. um, that's for sure. Let's see. I'll look up some other Cracker Jack that I think are nice cards. I mean, there's a lot of great cards. Tom McGraw, New York Giants, Pinstripes. You can tell this is a 1914. Look at all the staining on this one. Let's see, Cracker Jack. Eddie Plank. I think Alan mentioned this one already. Tris Speaker. These are just a bunch of reprints. Yeah, just a bunch of reprints, but that's a cool one. Share your knowledge on Burke Ross cards. It amounts to about zero. All I know about Burke Ross is from what I've seen other people post on YouTube. Just to be honest, I've never really been drawn to Burke Ross. I do think there are some interesting ones in there, but I just can't. Just not gotten into it. Yeah, I definitely consciously tried to avoid PWCC during that scandal period, which was a couple years back. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever gotten a PWCC card. Probstein, for whatever reason, I never thought of as an auction house to be wary of. Maybe I should have been, but I also don't think I've really gotten much from them either. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody here has strong feelings either way. Yeah, Ken, I'll tell you what, and if you'll give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I've done a video on this book before, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Jesse Think Blue 77 because he's the guy that showed me this book originally. He did a video on this book a few years back. I feel like I did a video on this book maybe a year ago, and that video got a ton of views. And the funny thing was, this book was on Amazon for like $10, and then it shot up because everybody started going and getting the book. This book for me is like a must-have. If you want to collect vintage, do yourself a favor and get this book. You can see here it's from 1886 all the way up to 1956. You know, golden era of vintage baseball card collecting. And the beautiful thing about this is, you know, you can poke around on eBay and kind of randomly look around, but if you look through this book, you can literally see every single issue from every set. So, for example, here's your Cracker Jack page, well, and one of many pages, right? Every single card from this issue, just all together in this book. So I highly recommend a book like this because, you know, you can take, and you can see here, I don't know if y'all can check it out. Like I've marked a couple of them here. I went through and like marked cards that I was interested in, and you know, every year or so, every few months, I'll go through the book and just enjoy looking at all the cards, and every now and then a new card will kind of pop out at me, and you know, I'll add it to the list. Yeah, there are other books like this. You know, you type in like Topps baseball cards, and yeah, it's exclusively Topps issues starting from 1950, 51, I guess, all the way up to present day. Yeah, classic baseball cards, the golden years, 1886 to 1956. Yes, sir. It happened. Don't ask me why. But for me, like, it's nice to just be exposed to all the cards and have a place to go to look at them all. It really kind of demystifies the whole thing a little bit. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Although I've come around to it. There are a couple of cards from that set that are on my want list. Hey, dude. I was expecting more from this storm. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. It's raining here in Savannah. It's supposed to be a big old storm. It's got a steady rain going. I hear some thunder, but nothing too scary yet. Meanwhile, it's 5-0 Cubs in the fifth. If you're asking me, sure. Like, I mean, Red Heart right at the top. I guess that's considered food and beverage, right? Wheaties, 1935 Wheaties is like horribly underrated, even though technically they're not baseball cards. Those to me are like absolutely gorgeous. Let's Stallmeyer. Oh, there's a big one I'm missing. Wilson Franks, definitely. Dandy Chips. There's a whole bunch, especially in the 50s. I mean, 50s, like, man, they had their shit together. Pardon my French. Oh, did you? Hey, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I've got. I'm sure you don't mind. I think that's what happened, Jesse. I'm sure you don't mind me saying. I've like one of my saved searches on YouTube or not YouTube, eBay is baseball card advertisements. I think that's what I've got saved, something like that. And I'll check it every few days or whatever. And there was a Redman ad, and I just shared it to a bunch of guys. It's like, hey, this is cool. I wasn't gonna get it, but just thought it looked nice, and I'm glad you got it, man. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, now that you just said that, I'm starting to hear a little wind and some thunder, so we'll see. Cool, man. You will enjoy it. It's fun to flip through. Especially when you're kind of thinking like, after a while you're looking at the same cards, you're kind of thinking about the same cards. For me, looking through that book kind of refreshes my thoughts on what I want to go after. Yeah, I know. It does. And I live in a neighborhood that's known for flooding, so my fingers are crossed. I've only been in this place for a few months, and this is my first somewhat significant storm. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'll just be standing with all my baseball cards like above my head and my baseballs. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. That question you asked, like, okay, if there's a fire or whatever, what do you grab? I know what the answer is. No question. Yeah, refrigerator is very busy during storm season. Ken, I hope you're asking Jesse that question, because if you're asking me, I've only got one. Jesse is the resident expert when it comes to vintage baseball gloves. Wilson Franks for sure. Wilson Franks, like, you want an obscure set to collect, that would be one to go for. I mean, they're beautiful, and they're beautiful, colorful, and they have floating hot dogs in the corner. In the corner of every card is a floating hot dog pack of hot dogs. What's not to like? Won't open up. Roy Campanella and some hot dogs. Will, go to Think Blue 77's channel and bother Jesse. I'm sure he won't mind. Right, Jesse? Whoa, howdy, Maxa Jackson. What's going on? Hey, look, it's Nelson Fox chewing on some tobacco. Thinking about hot dogs. Here's a pretty obscure card of Bob Feller. Fixing his glove. Del Ennis with a really sharp-looking yellow background. Del Ennis, really underrated 50s player for the Phillies. Everybody's favorite last name. Red Schoendienst. Jesse, I think this means you need to make like a how to collect baseball gloves video. In this card, it looks like Enos Slugger made contact with the hot dogs. Anyway, Wilson Franks. There's a lot of fun cards in that set. Yeah, and the Ted Williams is probably the biggest one, but extremely pricey. No, it isn't, man. I just told you your video last night is like one of my favorite ones you've ever done, and you've done a lot of great stuff. But your video yesterday was like super entertaining. Oops. Thanks for stopping in, man. Oh yeah, definitely. Red Heart's another really great set. I'm still waiting for Josh, Impact player. Josh, if you're watching this in record mode later, we're all still waiting for you, man, to make your Red Heart set build update video because he's been quietly building that set, or so he claims. I don't know, but yeah, that's a really awesome set, Red Heart. Uh, the Mantle, the Mutual, sure. The Mini Minoso, I'm a big fan of, but they're all great looking cards. Does Spawn have a? I can't picture the Spawn Red Heart, but he very well may have one. Yeah, yeah. I feel like this is one of those sets where it's like it's hard to find a bad card. You know, they're all really cool. Such a simple design, but it works really well. Erskine, cool looking card. You know, everybody has different logic to this. My original logic was post-war is PSA, pre-war is SGC. That's how I originally approached it, and I'm still sticking to that, even though I don't have to and probably shouldn't. But traditionally speaking, I think SGC has been known for being particularly knowledgeable in pre-war, and I kind of have stuck to that. But I probably should break out of that habit. Yeah, so it's like I've got, you know, back here, like this case back here, everything at the top is all my pre-war stuff, and that's all SGC. Everything down here is post-war, that's all PSA. So I don't know that it really actually matters, but we all get OCD about these things, right? Oh, dude, don't say that. Don't say that. It's not even close. 1958 Topps is awful, right? That's the. Yeah, no, we're not going to look at that set. No, not a fan. Really? Are you spreading rumors, Brian? Well, you know what? It makes sense because not that I'm really following any of it, but like SGC seems to have really made a conscious effort to improve the way their business runs. And it would make sense that someone would be like, all right, let's take that model and and run with it. I did, um, which was cool. Because that was the first time that I felt like I really was hearing from people that actually do this for a living, as opposed to hearing people talk about it. Like to actually be in the facility and see how it works and see people that are actually working there was cool. Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of replication in that set, but I think it's the kind of thing where you can appreciate it, look at it all together. Yeah, that would be very strange if Ryan, if what you're saying ends up happening. Definitely would be odd. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, I guess that's about how I feel about it. It feels like six indifferent emoji faces, or not indifferent, kind of not happy, kind of not feeling too good about it. Yeah, how you doing, Mike? Yeah, I can't really wrap my head around it, so I'm gonna refrain from trying to shoot from the hip right now. Oh yeah, I mean, Will, I don't think it has necessarily anything to do with Nat as it does just like the business and the industry itself and how it affects us. Well, we went from looking at beautiful vintage cards into a dark, dark place. And it's appropriate. It's like it's raining here in Savannah. All I hear is like thunder and rainfall. So the mood is set. Right. Yeah. Like this is a great idea. And I definitely agree with you in the spirit of it. But we also live in a world where a major retailer no longer carries a product because of violence that has taken place, in public over Topps cards. So I don't know, like the days that we all grew up with feel like a long, long time ago. There you go, Brian. Trying to steer us back. Stan Musial needs more vintage cards. We should go back in time and fix that. We've talked about these cards on this stream before, but here are some new. These are new to me. I was not aware of these until a few months ago. John Mangini showed off one or more of these cards. These are 1955 Rawlings, Stan Musial cards. I think there's like 3 or 4, or maybe more variations of it. And I think they came I don't know if it was with the glove or shoe or whatever, because the back of the card is blank as far as I recall. Yeah. But they're awesome. Like really simple black and white with blue. And it's all just a Stan, different versions of Stan Musial, and they're all hand cut. So if you're looking for Stan stuff, that's a good sort of obscure place to look. Yeah, and there's a baseball glove down here. Here's a cool question. What's everyone's favorite international vintage issue? I have one. Let's see if I can find it. I can't remember the year. I have to look it up real quick. It's getting worse out there. Andy, I don't know if you're still here. Hope you're not drowning. Oh, 19, for me, I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's one that I like. Venezuela, 1967 Venezuela Topps. I just think these are really, really fun. Dave Concepcion. Just a beautiful card. Shiro Peachy counts. It is not from the States. $1936 Worldwide Gum. Guys, if the stream suddenly kicks out, it's because all hell has broken loose here in southern Georgia, and I hope you'll keep me and Andy in your thoughts and in our baseball cards as well. Charlie Gehringer. I'm just gonna try to pull up a few of these guys here. I gotta pick up Slick Castleman just for the name. Brian, any idea what the big names in here? Well, obviously this guy. I've heard of him. Dizzy Dean, Connie Mack. There's Geringer. Slick. Joe. Dizzy Dean. Thank you, man. I'll let them know. And yes. Hey, Gary. Yeah, the DiMaggio rookie. Exactly. I forgot that was part of that set. Yes, there are some beautiful Japanese postcards. We've talked about that before too. Oh, I can never remember the name, but I have it listed here. (1929) Churchman. This is not really a postcard, but it's a beautiful card, and it doesn't explicitly say Babe Ruth, but it's clearly him. And there's a postcard that's basically the same thing. It's called 1929 Shonen. Here you go. Now this is just a copy of it, but you get the idea. Beautiful. I do not have either, but they're both on my to-do list, right? On my want list. Not happening anytime soon. I mean, you never know, I guess, but yeah, really cool. Hey, 5-3 Cubs. Phillies are actually doing something. All right, guys, just under 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it for the night right before the power goes out. Was fun as always. So thanks, everybody. Hope you all have a good night. Just a quick thing about Hobby Palooza. I'll be doing a stream. What time? I think it's 8 p.m. on Saturday. Obviously, Hobby Palooza is going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff. I'll be doing something 8 o'clock Saturday night. So I'll have some cool guests, most of which you all know. So should be a fun time. Hope you all can pop in. So until then, take care, everybody, and have a good night.